It's AJ again with AJ Insures Me. We're going to call this segment Talk About It Tuesdays. Last week we talked about your home deductible and premium and how we can kind of help you select a good premium versus the risk you take on with your deductible. Today we're going to talk about the replacement cost versus my appraised value. That's what we hear a lot. Once we give you a quote back, you see the value, you see the premium, and more times than not, someone says, hey, my home is not worth that much, or I can rebuild it for less, or my appraised value is far less. So when we get the data for your own quote, we need the square footage, we need the age of your home, the age of the roof, how many bathrooms, things like that. Is it brick? Is it hardy plank? Is it stucco? All of those things give us a value of your replacement cost. We 95% of the time try to give you a replacement cost policy. There are some circumstances where if you don't have recent updates, if your home is 30, 40, 50 years old, you don't have any recent updates, we are limited on the replacement value we can provide you, but we try to always provide you replacement costs. So we get a number of, let's just say $450,000, right? After you give us all of the characteristics of your home, physical characteristics, makeup, things like that. You tell us, hey, AJ, my appraisal value is only $375. Well, that's fine. However, if you want to insure it at that, you don't need the insurance, but you probably have a mortgage company that is requiring you to have a certain level of coverage. And so we have to abide by those rules, and we're just trying to help you follow those rules, right? We will try to work with this coverage the best way we can, but the appraisal value is really driven by your local area, your market area, right? Again, I'm in Texas. I told you guys that, but this applies, I think, across the country. So this value is if we had to rebuild your home right now with today's materials, costs, permits, everything right now. We're not building 25 homes like your community did when you first purchased the property. We have to rebuild this home right now if you had a total loss, not we, the insurance company. And that's why this number sometimes seems inflated, right? I do know somebody said, well, they're not going to rebuild the land. I get it, but you got to pull permits, and they're going to do all of this stuff while you're still going on with your daily life. So what is the difference between replacement costs and appraisal? You guys that are in Houston with me, you can, I think, relate to this story. Let's just use, and I don't want to pick on any neighborhood, but let's just go inside the loop versus outside the loop. So if you're in a rural area, right, home values probably are a little bit lower. You get more for your house. And so you purchase this home at $375,000, right? That same home, if it's inside the loop, might be $450,000, $500,000, $600,000, depending on where it is, right? Both of these homes can have the same exact build. The year built, the materials can be the same. The price you pay is depending upon where that home sits, the zip code, right? That has no bearing on the replacement costs. The replacement cost is what it's going to cost us to rebuild this home. That's why we can't really use the appraised value, what you bought it for. We really don't care what the sales price is. We hope you get as much money for your home as you want to. We can't go down and protest your taxes for you. Our obligation is to rebuild your home if you have a total loss and do it the best way we can. Everything else after that number is typically all a percentage. So when you look at your personal property, when you look at your loss of use coverage, when you look at your separate structures coverage, everything comes off of this first number. So once we know we have everything accurate and get that top number, that coverage A, that dwelling amount, everything else is a percentage. We do have some flexibility sometimes when we look at your personal property and your secondary structures, if you have any separate structures, fences and things like that. But our main priority is to get this number right so that you don't have a hardship if something were to happen. So your appraised value has nothing to do with the replacement cost that we try to insure your home. Your sales price, none of that. Those are two different numbers. We hope you get as much you want for your home or sell it or buy it, whatever you want to do. But we have to come up with the value based on the materials that your home is made of. And that's where that number lies. If you have any questions, give us a call, 412-6690. You can call, text, email us. We're here to help. AJ Insures Me. You can find us on all social. That's it for Talk About It Tuesdays.